Hey, I guess you want to follow along on one of my workouts. I would love that. But I think there are some basic rules we need to establish and things we should go over first. So let's do that. Your safety is my #1 priority when making these workouts. So please, go see your physician if you have any underlying heart conditions before performing one of these workouts. To monitor your heart rate throughout the workout, if you have an Apple Watch or a wearable, that's preferable.
While we're on the note of safety, remember, I can't physically fix your form if I'm not with you in person. So I need you to replicate these movement patterns to the best of your ability with perfect form. You're going to also hear audible cues. So if you have headphones in loud environments, it's going to help you understand what you should and shouldn't be doing.
To get the most out of these workouts, simply set your phone or tablet up, follow along with the instructions and try to keep pace, and just work hard. Some workouts might use equipment where it's unsafe to watch the video while trying to perform the exercise at the same time. So for these, I advise watch the video, then rewind, set your phone up off to the side, and then perform the exercise while only listening to the audible cues. Use your own best judgment for this. Oof, that made things awkward.
And that's essentially it. Follow these workouts, work as hard as you possibly can, and on a week-to-week basis, make sure you're thinking of increasing one variable like weight or reps or tempo or something. The last thing I want to say is just a thank you. The fact that you're here with me today tells me that you're willing to dedicate energy and time to try to better yourself, and the fact that you're using me as a resource to do so really does mean a lot. So thank you with all my heart, and enjoy your workout.
In today's workout, we're going to focus on stimulating our upper body by doing movement patterns such as pushing and pulling, as well as some core work, with minimal equipment. We're going to be able to travel with these items, and they're not going to take up much space in our bags at all, so we can stay consistent and make sure that we're following our routine even when we're away. The few things that we'll need for today is a crossball, a resistance band, as well as a door attachment, and a mini band. Without further ado, let's get this workout started. Before we get started with today's workout, we're going to be doing a little bit of soft tissue work or myofascial release with the lacrosse ball to loosen up some of the tight tissue in our body from some of the travel and the sitting we've been doing, and also to help promote blood flow and help us activate this tissue a little bit better throughout our workout. So like I said, the first thing we're going to need is a lacrosse ball, and we're going to set a timer for 45 seconds, and we're going to lay face down. We're going to place the lacrosse ball right where our shoulder and our pec meet. From here, we lay down, we put most of our weight down on the ball, and then when I'm in that spot that I find that's tender, again, search for tissue that is tender and sensitive. When I find it, I'm going to think of pushing my elbow down to the ground and then pulling my elbow all the way back up. Now, you don't need to do this sort of movement only. You can make small circles. If it's extremely tender, you can just take deep breaths, relax your head down on your hand. But again, the goal is just to find the tissue that needs some love and help promote some blood flow, increase the fluid dynamics, so we can activate it better and be more effective with the exercises that we choose. Now, throughout this workout, we're going to have minimal equipment. So we're going to have to work on time under tension to make things more challenging if we don't have enough resistance band to make it challenging. And we're going to need to be a little bit creative with some of the positions that we do today to try to make these exercises a little bit harder and a little more stimulating. Next, switch sides. Again, face down. Because we're going to be doing upper body work today, we're going to be doing mostly pushing and pulling exercises with some core. And we're going to be using the resistance band that we brought with us and a doorway attachment. So we're going to set that resistance band up to that doorway attachment, and then we're going to set that up chest height, maybe closer to the floor, depending on the exercise. And again, if it's not challenging enough when we're in that position, we might need to walk further away from the door so the band is a little bit more challenging and it has, less elasticity toward the end of range of motion. Or if it's still not challenging enough, we just need to do slower repetitions. Making circles, taking deep breaths. Again, just searching for that tissue that's painful. Good. Okay. Next, we're going to work on our glute. We've probably been doing a lot of sitting. Even though we're not going to be working this tissue really today, we're still tight in this area. Most people are from all the sitting that we do. So we're going to take the lacrosse ball and put it on the corner of our glute. Once again, we find a spot that's tender. We're going to think about taking our leg and abducting it down to the ground, and then bringing it all the way back up in abduction toward our other knee. Now you can have the opposite leg locked out. You can make circles. Whatever you need to do, again, kind of searching for that tissue that's tender, just staying still. A lot of people have glute amnesia, meaning they have trouble firing their glute because they don't have any proprioception, they don't know how to fire that tissue because they haven't done it in a long time, or because that tissue is so tight and matted down they've lost some of the abilities to contract it. So again, super important to loosen this tissue up in the body. We're gonna be doing some things from a standing position today. So again, this is gonna help us activate our glute a little bit while we're trying to stabilize ourselves. Switch sides. Okay, same thing here. I think it's super important to stay consistent so we don't fall off the metaphorical wagon when it comes to our own health and wellness. And being able to travel with just a few pieces of equipment is gonna help us stay consistent and remember the task at hand of taking care of our body. Deep breaths. Almost there. If you want to spend more time on your pec or your shoulder or your glute, whatever you want to do it, pause the video, come back to us in a second here. Depending on how tight you are and how tough it is for you to get into certain positions, you might need to spend more time warming up. Okay, next, let's take ourselves through a little bit of movement of a lot of joints. So the first thing I want us to do is get into a push-up position. And I'm going to show you how we can scale this in case we're too tight or we're not strong enough. From a push-up position, I'm going to take one foot, I'm going to bring it all the way outside of my hand on that same side. I'm going to take the same hand then, and I'm going to reach all the way up to the ceiling, going through some thoracic rotation, okay? Here my glutes stretching out. And then I reach down to the floor and I try to touch my elbow without my foot coming off the ground. I then bring that foot back and then I switch sides. We're going to do 10 of these per side. Now, if this is too challenging for us or uncomfortable, again, this should be stretching and warming up, not a distraction from how difficult it is. We go down to our knees and we do the same exact concept, just from our knees. And we want this to be rather dynamic. Reach, rotate, breathe out. So whatever regression, progression from this you need to do, maybe you do the same stretch, but you do your hands from an elevated surface, right? Something up here, whatever you need to do to make this effective for your starting point and your ability. Again, promoting some blood flow, getting some movement in our lower body. If we've been sitting on a plane, sitting in a car all day, this is a really quick, efficient way to get a lot of movement in a lot of joints. Starting to get a light sweat going on. Deep breaths in and out through your nose as much as you can. 10 total. Almost there, number 8 for me. And if you can't get your foot up as far and this is all you can get it, just keep a mental note of where you can get it relative to your hand. And over time, maybe then we slowly realize, oh wow, I'm getting more mobile. Or maybe, wow, I'm really tight today. Maybe I need to spend an extra minute doing these things before the workout. This is gonna help us reduce our risk of injury from working out, as well as just make us more effective in the movement patterns that we're trying to perform. So there you have it, a little quick warm up, taking us through a large range of motion. Now, let's get started with the workout. See you in a second. First circuit, we're gonna do 3 exercises together. We're gonna then take a short rest and then we're gonna perform it again. The first movement pattern in this circuit is gonna require us to take a resistance band and that doorway attachment and to put it at about shin height on a door, okay? We're gonna be doing a dead bug lat pull down. We're gonna go over how we do that together. The second exercise is gonna be push-up negatives. Now, if we're not strong enough to perform push-ups, we might need to do these from our knees. We might need to do them from an elevated surface, like a couch or a chair or something like that. You're gonna be able to scale this in a few different ways. Third, final thing is gonna be a low to high chop with that same exact band that we used before that's attached at about shin height in a doorway. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, I got 2 bands set up. One set up in the doorway, one is set up right here. So I'm gonna grab this one right here first to start us off. Now, the first movement pattern I'm gonna be performing is gonna be a dead bug, but we're gonna add a lat pull down into this movement pattern at the same time. So, while I'm laying face up, okay, I'm going into a hollow belly position. I'm pushing my lower back down to the ground. The side that is holding the band with one arm attached to the doorway is gonna extend all the way out. The opposite leg is gonna also extend out. Now I'm holding this position, making myself work my core, and I'm gonna elongate my arm. Then I pull my arm all the way down, I pinch my shoulder blade, and then I slowly let my arm get pulled up over my head. Now the entire time I'm holding this dead bug position, okay? We're doing 15 repetitions of pulling this band down to our shoulder. And again, we wanna make sure we're doing a slow eccentric. If this is too easy, we slide ourselves further away. We're gonna do 15 reps here, working our lat, the side of our back, while at the same time, we're working on keeping our core active by keeping this dead bug hollow belly position. 15 reps here, deep breaths. Really let your arm get locked out all the way next to your ear throughout this movement. Take deep breaths. If it starts to get too challenging, you can bend the other knee, bring it back in. As long as you keep that hollow belly and you push your lower back against the ground, you're gonna be effective with this exercise. Slow up with the arm, pull down, pinch that shoulder blade. And we want our arm to lock out next to our ear in that final position. Last one. Okay, good. I'm gonna switch sides. I'm gonna grab this other attachment over here for you guys. Again, this one is attached to an actual doorway. I lay face up. From here again, I stretch that arm next to my ear, probably a better view for you guys. I lock that leg out, hollow belly, pull slow on the way up. Again, finish right next to my ear, pull all the way down, I squeeze my lat. This is a great way for you to work your core and to get a little intuitive and inventive to be able to work your lats. Deep breaths. Again, if you start to arch your lower back and you feel it in your lower back, pull that leg up. Maybe you extend that leg a little higher up in the air. If you have tight hamstrings, this might be extremely challenging and you might need to do this bent knee position. But like I said, as long as you're keeping that hollow belly and pressing your lower back down to the ground, you're gonna be effective with working your core. Slow. We don't wanna rush these. Time under tension is our friend. We don't have much weight to work with here. We just have this one resistance band. So we need to make it as challenging as we possibly can on our core. Next, I talked about those push-ups. We're gonna go for a set of 15 push-ups or whatever we can get, okay? As long as we can get more than 6, we're gonna be able to work on strength. The more we do, the more we'll work on building muscle and muscular endurance. So from our push-up position, the first thing is I make sure I do not arch my lower back, right? I have a neutral spine. As I descend down, my elbows come close to my side. I do not go wide with my elbows, and I make sure I do not internally rotate. I keep my shoulder blades back and down. I explode up, smooth. 1, 2, 3. I touch, explode. Now, if this is too challenging, you don't need to do negatives. You can do regular push-ups. You can do them from your knees. You can do them from an elevated surface, like a bench or something where you put your hands up, a couch. Whatever you need to do to make 15 more challenging. You can do them locked out legs, press from your knee, lock out legs. Whatever you need to do to make this effective and help working on building the strength in push-ups. But again, elbows close to your side, please. Don't let your hands get too close to your head. This will work your triceps and it won't maximize your strength in this position. Deep breaths. Again, don't do the worm. You're not strong enough to do push-ups then. We need to regress it then. Neutral spine, tight belly, tight butt. Last 2. And good. Okay, third thing. We're gonna do those wood chops I talked about. So again, we got our band attached to a surface that's in our doorway, nice and low. I grab the band in a split stance position, okay? My back foot is on my toes. My front leg is bent maybe 120 degrees. From here, I turn my torso. I reach toward the direction of the band. I rotate all the way up, and then I slowly let it return. I don't let it yank me. We're gonna do 15 reps per side. I reach up, I rotate with my core, return slow. Now as we do these, I wanna make sure my knee is not collapsing in. I think of corkscrewing my foot and activating my glute. That's why we did a little myofascial release on our glute before. We wanna make sure we're not just using our arms, we're trying to rotate through our core. We get to work on some stability and balance of our lower extremities. Deep breaths. If you need to walk further away to make it challenging, if you need to walk closer, whatever you need to do. 15 total. Make sure that band's attached well in that doorway so it doesn't come up and smack you. Let me switch bands. Go from the other direction for you. Okay, here we are. Turn my torso, reach. Deep breath out. Make sure you got a wide stance and you're not too narrow. 15 total. I'm sweating. We're only using a band, and this is starting to get challenging. Deep breaths. Again, the goal is to take our bodies through a large range of motion because we've been sitting, we've been traveling. We just want to activate all this tissue and stay consistent with our workouts. Make this a habit, no matter where we are. 14, last one. Want to think of a chop of an angle, low to high. All right, and there you have it. So our first grouping of 3 exercises. We're going to take a short rest. We're going to come on back and perform these again, and then I'll see you at the next circuit to go over the exercises. Next circuit, same concept, 3 exercises in a row. When we're finished with this, we get a short rest and we continue to move through this. The first exercise, we're gonna need our resistance band set up at about belly button height now. So from shin height to about belly button height. We're gonna do a rotational single arm row. Again, work on strengthening our back, helping our posture. When we're finished doing that single arm row on each side, we're gonna do a single arm rotational press. Same stance, same concept. Instead of pulling, we're gonna be pressing now. We're gonna do that, and then when we're finished with that, we're then gonna move on to doing an anti-rotation. The band is never gonna move, it's always gonna be at belly button height, and let's go over each of those exercises together now. So first one up, we're gonna start with that rotational row. I'm gonna grab my band, that's set up at about waist height, and I'm gonna set myself up in a split stance position. Now, if you need to walk further back to make this more challenging, do what you need to do. We're gonna do 12 repetitions per side. I have a nice vertical torso, I have a slight bend, maybe almost 90 degrees this time in my left leg, back leg is almost locked out. I'm gonna pull the band to my chest, and as I pull, I make sure I retract and depress my shoulder blade, and I'm not internally rotated here, and that only works your bicep. Retract and depress, and as I pull, I rotate, okay? We're gonna do 12 repetitions per side. So go ahead and get yourself set up. I take a big pull, I rotate, I pinch that shoulder blade, and now I slowly return back. And I rotate the other way now. I pull, I rotate, I pinch, rotate back. Again, I get to stretch the glute on the leg that's forward when I rotate back, and pull, pinch, 12 times. Pulling exercises are so important so we can work on our posture. Most of us sit all day. Again, we're traveling. We might not have been conscious of the positions we put our bodies in while we were traveling. So this is a great way to strengthen our back and hopefully help pull our shoulder blades into a better position. Nice and slow. If you need to do more volume because you find this too easy, or if you need to walk further away, please do so. I want this to be like an 8 out of 10 by the last rep. Okay, good. Now I'm gonna grab my other band for my other arm. Okay, same thing. Opposite leg forward. I rotate toward you. I pull, rotate the other way, pinch my shoulder. Smooth and slow on the way back. Again, we get to do a lot of thoracic rotation here, which is good if we've been sitting a lot. I want to think of keeping that elbow tight to my side and not having it flare up. Again, that retracting the shoulder blade is so important to work the right musculature. We're not standing upright. I don't have my back foot flat on the floor. Have it on my toes again. Get this glute involved. Little bit of stability work on that front leg. 12 total. Nice and slow. Almost there. And then we're gonna do the same thing, we're gonna just flip around. Last one, and 12, good. Again, make sure that knee is not collapsing in when you do this, and you're thinking of keeping it tracking over your toe. Okay, second part of this. I'm in the same exact position here, okay? Front leg forward, same amount of knee bend, foot off the floor or heel off the floor. From here, I rotate back, I keep my elbow next to my body, my forearm is vertical, it's not pointing up, it's pointed toward the direction I'm pressing. I press this arm out, and I rotate the other way, and I slowly absorb it back. Again, back position, same as the rowing, retracted and depressed. I rotate, rotate and press. 12 per side here. My elbow's close to my side, my elbow is going through the inside of this band. I find that a little more comfortable. Won't take the hair off your arms. Again, make sure that band is safely attached into a doorway. In a perfect world, it's in a doorway in the direction the door shuts. That way, it doesn't open up on you and pull the door and then it snaps and hits you in the back. Retract that shoulder blade, not internally rotate. Rotate and press. Deep breaths, almost there. Last one. Okay, let me give you a different angle here. Okay, rotate toward the band. Rotate and press. I like to make a fist in my other hand. I feel like it helps with my balance. There's also some consistency every time I do these exercises or almost any single arm exercise. It's a habit now. Again, knees not tracking in. Activate that glute. More stable surface. Again, just like the row, I'm not keeping my elbow up high. I'm keeping my elbow right by my side. 12 total, I feel my core working here, my obliques. Almost done. And 12, okay. Now we finished our pushing and pulling. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an anti-rotation exercise. So I'm gonna get my feet nice and wide. While I'm standing holding onto this band, I'm gonna press my arms out and I'm gonna resist the urge of rotating under load, okay? I'm also having a wide stance so I fit in the frame here, lock my arms out, squeeze my butt in my belly, and I resist. We're gonna do this for 30 seconds. Deep breaths. Staying calm. Both my arms are locked out. I'm not bending one elbow. I'm not elevating my shoulder blades. My legs aren't bent. I'm squeezing my butt, squeezing my belly. 3, 2, 1. Okay, switch sides, same concept. Lock my legs out, press my arms, stay in put. We practice the ability to rotate a lot when we train, but very infrequently do we practice resisting rotation under load. This is one of my favorite core exercises. Work on spinal stability, work on strengthening my obliques. I get my hips involved. Deep breaths. In 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, and there you have it. Another 3 exercises. Let's take a short rest. Let's come back, knock a couple more rounds of that out, and then I'll see you at the next circuit. All right, third, final circuit. We're not gonna need that doorway attachment this time. All we're gonna need is a resistance band. The first exercise we're gonna start with is an overhead press with the resistance band. We're just gonna be standing in the band, pressing the weight overhead and trying to slow it on the way down. When we're finished with that, we're gonna take the band, we're gonna step on it now, and we're gonna hold it with both hands. We're gonna loop it up in half, and we're gonna do a bent over row. We're gonna try to maintain a neutral spine as we do some pulling work, again, strengthening our back. Third and final thing we're gonna do is some anti-bend. We're gonna do a side plank, and we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds per side. So let's get started. First thing, again, like I mentioned before, we're gonna step in our resistance band, okay? I'm not doubling it up and stepping on it like I will with the row, okay? I'm just stepping on one portion of it. I stand tall with the band, and I hold the band with both hands, and I pull the band apart. From here, I press my arms all the way overhead, I squeeze my butt in my belly, and I return it all the way back down to my chin. We're gonna be doing 20 repetitions here. Now, if you're someone that's extremely tight, and it's very hard for you to take this band and get it all the way overhead with good form, and get it directly over your center of gravity, and your arms are looking more like this, pull the band apart more. It's gonna help folks that don't have quite as good shoulder mobility. Okay, we're doing 20 repetitions of this. All the way down slow, explode, press my weight over my head. I wanna make sure that I'm also not going into extension and arching my back as I'm doing this. I'm thinking of standing tall, squeezing my butt and belly, working my core in anti-extension. Deep breaths. Again, being explosive up is good, but slow on the way down. Breathe. Getting my chin out of the way when I bring it down. If you want to make this more challenging, you can do it in a split stance position. You can put one foot in front of the other and just change your positioning. A few different things we can do here. Almost there. And good. Okay, next, we're gonna do that bent over row, which I mentioned. So we're gonna stand on both ends of the band now in the center, and we're gonna loop our hands through or hold onto the side of the band. Now try to make sure that the tension is even on each side. Now I maintain a neutral spine just as if I'm about to deadlift, and I pull both my arms up, pinch my shoulder blades, again, making sure I'm not internally rotated, depress them, retract, slow on the way down. We're gonna do 15 repetitions here. Slow. Again, time under tension is our best friend right now. I think of keeping my elbows tucked by my side, really pinching those shoulder blades, and I slowly let those shoulder blades go. I don't want to do the work with my arms. I want my back to do the work to help my posture and work a bigger muscle group out, burn more calories, be more efficient here. My neck is neutral. I'm not looking up. And again, I'm not rounding. If you're having trouble keeping a neutral spine here in this, you're gonna really have trouble when you're deadlifting and doing things with heavier load. So we need to work on your ability to maintain a neutral spine and hinge your butt back. Think of pushing it back to the wall as far as you can. Look how vertical my shins are. I'm not bending my knees a ton. I'm just focusing on pushing my butt back. 2 more. Last one. Good. Okay, next. We're gonna do a side plank for 30 seconds. I got my forearm stacked directly under my shoulder. I lock my legs out. Hips are up in the air. I think of getting myself as high up as I can. I'm not just relaxing down in this position. I retract my shoulder blade, pinch it back behind me, stable position for my shoulder, nice and safe, and then just stay here. If you wanna split your legs up to give you more stability, go ahead. If this is too challenging and you need to do it from your knee, there's a few variations, and we gotta scale this to make it challenging for you and effective for you. Deep breaths. You can have one arm up in the air on your side. You could set that band up and do rows, a ton of regressions and progression. 3, 2, okay. Now we switch. Opposite side, almost there, guys. Hips high, same thing, shoulder blades back. I'm not sagging. I really get those hips up high in the air. Deep breath, staying calm. Again, you can see this is a great workout to keep your body moving. Be really efficient with minimal equipment. You can do this everywhere you go, from your hotel room, wherever it may be. In 3, 2, 1, bingo. And there you have it, guys. A couple more rounds of that, and I'll see you at the end of the workout. Congratulations, thank you for working so hard today on this travel upper body workout. We were able to do a ton of movement patterns that are gonna help your posture, build some strength, get you moving through large ranges of motion, all while you travel with minimal equipment, or if you just don't have time to go to the gym, you can do this from home quickly in a short amount of time period without having to think much. So again, I appreciate you for working hard. I'm excited for you to have some results and to be able to share those with the community that are all rooting for you to do well. Please reach out with any questions, keep working hard, hydrate, nutrition, get some sleep, and then keep working hard and trying to make things harder on your body every week, week in and week out, providing new stimulus so you get better. So thank you, I'll see you soon. Continue working hard. Good luck.